What if I told you that the reason you're tired, overweight, anxious, or struggling with brain fog has little to do with what you eat, and everything to do with what you see? What if the very lights in your home, your office, your phone screen are slowly dismantling your biology from the inside out? And what if the cure, the actual scientifically backed cure, is completely free, available to everyone, and has been hidden in plain sight for over a century? Today, we're going to explore a radical idea from a neurosurgeon who claims that obesity doesn't start in your gut. It starts in your eye. That modern disease isn't caused by bad genes or bad food, but by bad light, and that everything you've been told about health, metabolism, and even aging might be built on a fundamental misunderstanding of how human beings actually work. Stick around until the end, because we're going to break down exactly how this works, what the science actually says, and I'll give you my take on why this information isn't mainstream, and what you can do about it starting tomorrow morning. Before we dive in, I need you to understand one equation, just one, and I promise this isn't going to be a physics lecture. But this single equation is the key to everything we're about to discuss. E equals mc squared. You've seen it on t-shirts. You know, Einstein came up with it. But do you actually know what it means for your body? Here's the translation. Energy and mass are the same thing. The only difference is the environment they exist in. When you slow light down, you create matter. Everything in this room, this planet, your body, at one point used to be light. That's not philosophy, that's not spirituality, that's physics. And here's where it gets interesting for your health. If light can become matter and matter can become energy, then the light entering your body isn't just something you see, it's something you become. The question is, what kind of light are you becoming? To understand why light matters so much, we need to talk about the power plants inside your cells. Mitochondria. You probably learned in school that mitochondria are the powerhouses of the cell. They take the food you eat and turn it into energy called ATP. Simple enough, right? But here's what they didn't teach you. According to Dr. Doug Wallace, who's considered the world's leading mitochondrial researcher and recently won the Franklin Award, 80 to 90% of all chronic human diseases have mitochondrial origins, not genetic origins. Mitochondrial origins. And here's the kicker. Your mitochondria don't just run on food, they run on light. See, inside each mitochondrion there are proteins called cytochromes that form what's called the electron transport chain. These proteins pass electrons from one to another like a bucket brigade, eventually creating the energy your cells need to function. But here's what most people don't know. The distance between these proteins matters enormously. For every angstrom, that's 1/10,000,000th of a meter, that these proteins move apart, energy production drops by a factor of 10. So what controls how close together these proteins are? Temperature. And what controls temperature in your cells? Light. Red and infrared light cause the water around your mitochondria to behave in specific ways that bring these proteins closer together. Blue light does the opposite, it spreads them apart. This means the type of light hitting your body directly affects how much energy your cells can produce. Not indirectly, directly. Now here's where things get really interesting. We all know the eye is for seeing. That's obvious. But what if I told you that seeing is actually the secondary function of your eye? The primary function is keeping time. Deep in your brain, there's a tiny cluster of cells called the suprachiasmatic nucleus, or SCN. This is your master clock. It controls your circadian rhythm, which in turn controls virtually every hormone and biological process in your body. And this clock is set by light entering your eyes. But not the light you consciously see, the light you can't see. Here's something that will blow your mind. Humans are actually blind to ultraviolet light and infrared light. We can't consciously perceive them. but they still enter our eyes, and they still affect our biology. In fact, about 1% of UVB light and 3% of UVA light passes through your lens and reaches your retina. Medical schools have taught for decades that the eye blocks all UV light. That's simply not true. And this UV light that gets through? It's absorbed by special amino acids in your eye called aromatic amino acids: tryptophan, tyrosine, phenylalanine, and histidine. These amino acids have what are called benzene rings, which act as photon traps. They capture UV light and use it to trigger chemical cascades throughout your brain. This is how your eye tells your brain what time it is, what season it is, and what your body should be doing right now. When you wear sunglasses all day or spend your life under artificial lights that lack UV frequencies, your brain loses track of time. And when your brain loses track of time, everything downstream starts to malfunction. Between 2003 and 2009, researchers made a discovery that should have changed everything. They found a new photoreceptor in the human eye called melanopsin. Unlike the rods and cones you learned about in biology class, which are responsible for vision, melanopsin doesn't help you see anything. Instead, it detects blue light specifically in the 435 to 465 nanometer range and sends signals directly to your brain's clock and hormone centers. This is the pathway that controls your sleep, your mood, your metabolism, and your hormone production. And here's the problem: the blue light from your phone, your computer, your LED lights. It's exactly in this range. Every time you look at a screen, your brain receives a signal that says it's noon. The color temperature of natural sunlight at noon is about 5,750 Kelvin. You know what the color temperature of your computer screen is? 5,750 Kelvin. Some newer screens are even higher at 6,500 Kelvin, so when you check your phone at 10 p.m., your brain thinks the sun is directly overhead. When you scroll through social media at midnight, your brain thinks it's the middle of the day. Studies have shown that teenagers look at their phones an average of 150 times per day. That's 150 false noon signals being sent to a brain that's trying to figure out when to sleep, when to release growth hormone, when to repair tissues, and when to produce melatonin. Is it any wonder we're seeing an epidemic of sleep disorders, anxiety, depression, and metabolic disease in young people? Let's put this in historical perspective. In 1879, Thomas Edison invented the practical incandescent light bulb. For the first time in human history, we could extend our days indefinitely. We could work after dark. We could socialize at night. We could read without candles. It seemed like pure progress. But here's something to consider. Before 1900, colon cancer was the 37th leading cause of death in the United States. Today, it's number 2. If you believe in standard evolutionary theory, explain to me how in just 5 or 6 generations we went from 37th to 2nd. That's not enough time for genetic changes. That's not natural selection. Something environmental changed, and what changed was light. For 4.6 billion years, life on Earth evolved under one light source, the sun. A light source that rises with red and infrared frequencies, peaks with balanced visible light at midday, includes UV light during certain hours, and sets with red and infrared again. Then, in the blink of an evolutionary eye, we replace that with something completely different. Artificial light that's heavy in blue frequencies, lacks infrared almost entirely, and never turns off. We didn't just change our environment. We changed the fundamental signal that tells our cells what to do and when to do it. So what does healthy light exposure actually look like? When the sun rises, the light is predominantly red and infrared, with very little blue and no UV. This is when your photoreceptors, specifically your rods and your melanopsin system, regenerate. This is also when your eyes first begin producing melatonin. Yes, you heard that right. Melatonin, the hormone of darkness, is first made in your eye in the morning when UVA and infrared light are present together. This seems like a paradox, but it makes perfect sense. Your body needs to manufacture melatonin during the day so it's ready to release at night. If you don't get proper morning light, you can't make enough melatonin to sleep well later. As the morning progresses, blue light increases and UVA light appears. This combination turns on your pituitary gland and begins hormone production. Almost every hormone in your body, cortisol, thyroid hormones, growth hormone, and sex hormones, is produced primarily between 6 and 10 a.m., triggered by this specific light signal. Then, as UVA light increases further, it actually begins to turn off hormone production. This is the natural brake system. Blue light in the morning turns hormones on. UVA light later in the morning turns them off. But here's the problem. If you're inside under artificial blue light all day, you're getting the on signal constantly without ever getting the off signal. Your hormone system never gets to rest. It's like holding the gas pedal down 24 hours a day. Eventually, the engine burns out. This is what functional medicine doctors call adrenal fatigue. But it's not really about your adrenals. It's about light. There's another crucial piece to this puzzle: dopamine. Dopamine is the neurotransmitter of motivation, focus, and reward. When your dopamine is low, you can't concentrate, you lack motivation, you crave stimulation. And here's the key part: you literally cannot perceive solutions that are right in front of you. Low dopamine doesn't just make you feel bad, it makes you blind to truth. And guess what raises dopamine faster than almost anything else? Sunlight hitting your retina. When UVA light enters your eye and is absorbed by those aromatic amino acids we talked about earlier, it triggers the production of dopamine in your brain. This is why you feel good on sunny days. This is why people in northern latitudes have higher rates of depression in winter. This is why you feel more alive, more motivated, more clear-headed after spending time outside. But here's the flip side. When you're constantly under artificial blue light, your dopamine system gets dysregulated. You get the stimulation without the proper signal. It's like eating sugar instead of real food. You get a spike, then a crash, then you need more. This is why social media is so addictive. This is why people can scroll for hours without satisfaction. The blue light from the screen is hijacking the same pathway that sunlight is supposed to use, but it's giving you a corrupted signal. Now we get to the really controversial claim, the one that made a neurosurgeon famous on the internet and got him labeled as crazy by the mainstream medical community. Does obesity begin in the eye? Here's the logic. We've established that light controls your circadian rhythm. Your circadian rhythm controls your hormones control your metabolism. Therefore, light controls your metabolism. But there's more direct evidence than just logic. There's a hormone called leptin that's produced in your fat cells. Leptin tells your brain how much energy you have stored. When leptin signaling works properly, you eat when you're hungry and stop when you're full. When it doesn't work, you're hungry all the time, no matter how much you eat. This is called leptin resistance, and it's present in virtually every obese person. Now look at the molecular structure of leptin. It's full of those aromatic amino acid rings we talked about, the photon traps. Leptin is designed to interact with light, and here's a study from 2017 that should make everyone pay attention. Researchers found that the first measurable change in childhood obesity, before weight gain, before metabolic changes, is thickening of the choroid layer in the retina. The eye changes before the body changes. This suggests that obesity isn't primarily a disease of eating too much. It's a disease of light deficiency. Your body can't properly sense its energy status because the light signals are wrong. Think about it this way. When any system in the universe loses energy, it gets bigger. When you sprain your ankle, it swells. When the heart fails, it enlarges. When a star dies, it becomes a red giant. Expansion is what happens when energy is lost. Obesity might not be a sign of too much energy. It might be a sign of too little at the cellular level because your mitochondria can't produce enough ATP due to improper light exposure. Here's something that will change how you think about your own body. Your blood isn't just carrying oxygen and nutrients. It's carrying light. Red blood cells are loaded with two things: DHA, the omega-3 fatty acid, and porphyrins, which are the molecules that make hemoglobin red. Both of these are designed to absorb and transport light frequencies. When sunlight hits your skin, it penetrates into your blood vessels. Infrared light can penetrate 10 to 30 centimeters into your body. That means light hitting your chest can reach your spine. Light hitting your face reaches deep into your brain. This light is absorbed by your red blood cells and carried throughout your body. Your blood is essentially a ferry system for light energy. And here's something beautiful. As blood flows through your arteries, the red blood cells create an electromagnetic field around them. This field interacts with the lining of your blood vessels, causing the release of nitric oxide, which dilates your vessels and lowers blood pressure. This is why sunlight lowers blood pressure. This is why people who get regular sun exposure have better cardiovascular health. It's not just about vitamin D, it's about the direct interaction of light with your blood. Let's talk about what's actually happening to us right now. Age-related macular degeneration, or AMD, is now the #1 cause of blindness in North America. When I say age-related, I should clarify. It used to be age-related. Now we're seeing it in younger and younger people. Cataracts are exploding. Myopia, or nearsightedness, has increased dramatically in just one generation. In some Asian countries where screen use is highest, over 90% of young adults are now nearsighted. What changed? The light changed. We went from cathode ray tube televisions, which had a broader spectrum of light, to LED screens, which spike heavily in the blue range. We went from incandescent bulbs, which produced light similar to fire and candlelight, to LED bulbs, which produce almost no red or infrared light. And we moved indoors. The average American now spends 93% of their time inside, under artificial light, separated from the sun. Here's what blue light does to your eye. It causes the photoreceptors to work overtime without giving them the red and infrared light they need to regenerate. It's like running a machine at full speed without ever doing maintenance. The rods in your eye regenerate during the day when you're exposed to UVA and infrared light. The cones regenerate at night in darkness. If you're under blue light all day and looking at screens at night, neither system ever gets to recover. This is why your eyes feel tired. This is why your vision is getting worse. This is why diseases that used to only affect the elderly are now showing up in children. Let's connect some dots that most people have never connected. You've heard of vitamin D. You know it comes from sunlight, specifically UVB light hitting your skin. But did you know that vitamin D is actually a light-absorbing molecule? It captures UVB frequencies and stores that light energy for your body to use. What about vitamin A? Vitamin A is yellow in color. In physics, yellow is the complementary color to blue. This means vitamin A absorbs blue light. This is why vitamin A is so critical for eye health. It's literally designed to handle blue light frequencies. And vitamin K2? It has a molecular structure almost identical to coenzyme Q10, which sits in your mitochondria. Both of these molecules absorb UV and infrared light. These aren't random nutrients, they're light-harvesting molecules. Your body uses them to capture, store, and utilize different frequencies of sunlight. This is why you can't just take vitamin D supplements and expect the same results as actual sun exposure. The supplement gives you the molecule but not the light that's supposed to come with it. It's like getting a battery without ever charging it. So what do we actually do with this information? First, morning sunlight is non-negotiable. Within the first hour of waking, you need to get outside and let natural light hit your eyes. No sunglasses, no windows, direct exposure. Even on cloudy days, you're still getting about 31% of the light frequencies you need. The ideal position, and this might sound strange, is to face east with your bare feet on the ground. This grounds you to the Earth's electromagnetic field while your eyes receive the sunrise frequencies. Ancient cultures knew this. The Sphinx faces east. Morning sun rituals exist in traditions around the world. Second, block blue light after sunset. This means blue blocking glasses, which filter the 435 to 465 nanometer range. It means dimming your screens or using night mode. It means switching to red or orange lights in your home after dark. Third, get your skin in the game. Your skin has light receptors, too. The more skin you can expose to natural sunlight, the more light energy your body can harvest. This doesn't mean burning yourself. It means gradual, consistent exposure. Fourth, if you live in a northern latitude and you have health issues, you may need to seriously consider spending time in locations with higher UV availability, especially in winter. This isn't a luxury. For some people, it's a medical necessity. And fifth, understand that this is about consistency, not intensity. A few minutes of morning light every single day is worth more than hours of sun exposure once a week. Let's zoom out for a moment. For 4.6 billion years, life on Earth evolved under the sun. Every cell in your body, every protein, every enzyme, every hormone pathway was designed to work with solar frequencies. Then in 1879, we invented artificial light. In 1990, we invented the LED. In 2007, we put glowing screens in everyone's pocket. In evolutionary terms, this is less than a blink of an eye. Our biology has had zero time to adapt. We're running ancient hardware with modern software, and the system is crashing. The chronic disease epidemic, the mental health crisis, the obesity pandemic, the explosion of autoimmune condition, these aren't random, they're not genetic, they're not because we suddenly forgot how to eat or exercise. They're because we changed the most fundamental input to our biology, light. And here's the empowering part. Unlike your genes, unlike your past, unlike so many things you can't control, you can control your light environment, starting tomorrow morning, starting right now. The sun is still there, it rises every day, it's free. It's available to everyone, and it might be the most powerful medicine on the planet. So here's my take. The science is there, the logic is sound, the historical correlation is undeniable, and the solution costs nothing. We've been told that health is complicated, that you need expensive supplements, special diets, gym memberships, and medical interventions. And sometimes you do. But before any of that, before you optimize your macros or track your steps or buy another gadget, maybe just go outside in the morning. Take off your sunglasses, let the light in. Your eyes aren't just for seeing. They're solar panels, they're timekeepers. They're the gateway between the cosmos and your cells. And right now, most of us are keeping that gateway closed. What do you think? Does this change how you see your daily habits? Have you noticed differences in how you feel based on your light exposure? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want more deep dives like this, where we question everything and follow the evidence wherever it leads, hit that subscribe button. Until next time, stay curious and maybe catch a sunrise.